Okay, in this segment of the red slice, we will be looking at classification of variables and levels of measurement. Okay, so they're going to go through here and ask us some questions about the type of variable and the level of measurement. Let's consult with our notes here for a minute, and we will see here that if a data is quantitative, anything that's quantitative has to do with a quantity, this basically means that we describe that with numbers. If it's categorical, obviously here this same root of category, we simply divide that into some different categories, so it's categorical. As they talk about the levels of measurement, first of all, numbers can be used in several different ways. First of all, nominal means name only. So what I think about here is James Bond, Agent 007. He is, they've taken away his number, or taken away his name and given him a number instead of that. Think about the numbers on a basketball jersey. Think of area codes. These numbers are basically just used as names for things. Now, if we have ordinal data, just like it suggests here, it has order, but order only. Think about using numbers to represent, say, these scales that you get on teacher evaluations, like poor, average, good, very good, excellent, and so that we have these numbers that correspond to those levels. Now, we can't tell how much better than average is than poor, or good is than average. We can't tell those differences. There's order only, but no meaningful differences. Now, when it comes to interval data, there are meaningful differences, but there is no meaningful zero. The only really good example of ratio data that we ever see is temperature. Okay, temperature data is interval data, because if you have a temperature of 40 degrees outside today, we know that that's 20 degrees warmer than, say, it was last night when it was 20, but we cannot say that it is twice as warm. Even though 40 as a number is twice as much as 20, we cannot claim that temperatures can be twice as high. It's not twice as much of a thing because there is no meaningful zero. Zero on the temperature scale does not mean none of a thing. Now, when it comes to ratio data, the final type, the most meaningful data, we have order, we have interval, and we have ratio data finally, which includes everything. We have a meaningful zero. We can find meaningful ratios. If you have a person that is 6 feet tall, we know that he would be twice as tall as a child that's only 3 feet tall. There is a meaningful zero involved there. And so ratio data is, in a sense, the best data. Let's go over to ALEKS and work through a couple of examples. Okay, the end of the year stock classification: high yield, medium yield, or low yield. Well, there's no numbers here, so that must be categorical. We can see, though, that high yield is better than medium yield. There's an order there. So this data is ordinal. Down here, closing price in dollars of a stock. Okay, now in this case, dollars is a number. It's quantitative, and furthermore, these numbers are ratio, because if our stock is worth $2 a share, that would be twice as much as if it were $1. And obviously, if the price of that falls to zero, we know that that stock is worthless. So we have ratio data, which is the best. A native language, well, there's no numbers there. That is merely a category, and we would have a name for that, like English or Spanish or French. And so let's do this one and another one so you can see this at work. End of the year stock classification again. Okay, that came up again. We have a categorical here and order. Actually, we don't. Let's take a look at one more of those. Okay. Highest educational degree completed. Okay, once again, we have some categories here, and they're in order. Obviously, a high school diploma is better than none. 2-year degree is better than a high school diploma, and so on. So these are ordinal. Temperature. Hey, temperature, that's always quantitative and interval. Totally elapsed time in seconds. Well, we'd have to measure that with a watch. That would be quantitative, and that would be ratio, because we know that no time at all would have a meaningful zero. 10 seconds would be twice as long as 5 seconds, and so ratio data would apply.